The Australian dollar against the Japanese yen, AUD JPY. There is a situation here. So I'm looking at the daily chart. We can make some drawings on this. So if you look at these levels here, as we can see, the market has moved considerably up. But then these levels are those levels that it was there last year, towards the end of it. It's kind of got knocked over there, and now it's at these levels. Now, I'm building towards an idea for a trade later on, either in the Australian session, the Asian session, or the Frankfurt Open later on. So what you can see is that it's bounced off these levels and it bounced off that level. It is in an uptrend, but it is also in a correction mode at the moment. So it is correcting down. So if let's go to the hourly chart, what we see is that the gator is open to the downside. You have the peak of AO, and then you have the dark tones, and the purple is above. So all these four lines are in line, and we have these levels to kind of worry about. But at the same time, if you were interested, there is a setup that you can trade. So let's go to the M15 chart. What you see now on the M15 chart, and I saw this by looking at the daily chart. So that one daily candle allowed me to see this setup, which we call the famous setup. So what you see here is a wave 3 down and a 4 up. Let me now draw it for you. So if you were to call this a 3, you can probably call this a 1 and a 2. And this would become our 3. This pretty much looks like the peak of 4, which means that our 5 could be somewhere down there. And for me, what I consider is a 5 would usually go to what I call the target zone 1, which is the fib expansion 61.8%. So if that is the case, then at least up to here, the market would come. So what you could do is, if you're interested in it now and you can wait for Tokyo session, which I will be asleep at that time, but since it is Australian dollar and the yen, so there are chances that it could move. So what you could do is to take a trade. If the box stays sideways, let's say this would be 2 o'clock, would be, I think it was at 2 o'clock. No, it would be midnight UK, around this time would be your Asian session, the Tokyo Open. So if you have your stop loss either here or ideally at the peak of wave 4, because that is where you're going to be proven wrong. So if you think this is a 3 and this is 4, that is the peak of 4. Price will have to go above the peak of 4 for you to be proven wrong. So that is the market generated stop loss. Where should be your stop loss? Should be over here. So this would be your entry, and obviously your target would be just a few pips above the target zone 1, and that will give you 1:2.3 or 1:2 trade. If you were to bring stop loss here, then at the risk of getting stopped out prematurely, you could then have a bigger trade of 1:4, but that will allow you to actually close half over here when the trade goes around 1:2. I think, let me just drag it here. I think if it comes here at this level, the trade is going to be around 1:1.86. So you can close half and let the rest of it run and hit this target. So that's one idea that can be pursued. If it stayed sideways all the way till the morning, which is this time here, 7 o'clock, then I could probably trade it short during the Frankfurt session as well. So that is Australian dollar against the yen. The Euro USD. We all know that Euro USD has been going up. After it broke this consolidation over here, all it did was buy, and it went up. But now it took a little pause here. Today, what we saw is an outside candle. This is a strong indication of resumption of trend. Where will it go? Well, the obvious levels are here, which is about 130 pips from here, I think. Yes. around 135 or 130. Let's call it 130. So the way to, this is what I call the famous bar. So if I'm looking at the daily charts and the charts are moving and they have a strong trend, these are resumption candles. It is a bit early because it's only 2 days of pause, but it's still possible. If you go to the hourly chart, we saw a setup which we could have traded here. It closes the moment this candle closes outside the candle. It's outside everything, this resumption. So the trade was available here. I'm short from here, and I'm targeting these levels. Not short, sorry. I've bought it there. Slip of tongue. So we bought it here, and we are looking to target those levels. So what I've done is that I've closed half at plus 20 and I put my stop loss at minus 20. So it's a break-even trade and I'm willing to let it run. But meanwhile, we have another opportunity. This very chart that you see on the hourly chart, this strong move up, which is an outside candle, as you can see, the low of this day and the high has kind of engulfed what is on to the left of it. So yesterday was like a dead day. This is up, and now it creates an opportunity. As you can see, Gator is open, purple is below it. You have a new peak in dark tones, and I'm going to take you to the M15 chart. On the M15 chart, what you see is a 3 up, 4 down, and price is going sideways. Now, because this is Euro USD, we'll be looking to take a trade not at the Asian session like I did in my Australian dollar yen signal that I did earlier today. Well, I'm probably going to put a link in the description in this. If it stays like so all the way till, let's say, 6:30 in the morning UK or Frankfurt Open, if it was to stay, say, sideways like this, let me just adjust these a bit. Oh, I made a mess of it. Okay, let's move that. Let's move that a bit. Just bring it here. Okay, so let's suppose the chart stays sideways this way. You'll be very lucky if it stays that nice boy like that. If this was one of the candles sticking out as well, this would be the low of the wave 4. So your stop loss will be here, because if the hypothesis or the idea is that this is 3 and this is 4, then your stop loss should be where you think is the bottom of wave 4. So keeping that in mind, your stop loss will be here. I'll take it up. Your pending order is there. Stop loss is here. Let me move it for you so you can see it. And your target point, where is it going to be? Well, this is an M15 trade. So let me just bring that here. I'm going to adjust that because this level should be around here. So the target zone 1 is up there. So you would have an opportunity of a 1:2, probably 1:2 or something. So we'll see how the market reacts. Now, 12 hours in advance, we knew that tomorrow we could trade this, or at this time, about 9 hours in advance, you could actually have an idea that tomorrow we might be trading a buy setup on the euro dollar. And that is what we call, and why we call it, the famous setup. The reason I call it the famous setup, and we take it to the daily chart. One, the entire trend is up, everybody knows, and this candle, so those people who can read the chart, they clearly see that this is a trend continuation signal. And if you go to the hourly chart, you can see that price has broken above the box, the gator is open, and the market was rejected down here and price went up. This is famous among the traders. So if you like this analysis, please hit the like button and leave me a comment. What do you think? Are you going to trade it? Are you going to wait for it? And how do you do that? So if there's anything else that I can add to my analysis, please let me know. Thank you very much.